This question was for Bob specifically. Have you always been extremely marketing oriented, or is there something that, as an operator, made you see the light?
The Ray Kroc light.
Yeah, no. From the very first exposure I had to the business, it always appeared to me that there was no particular reason for anybody to beat away to my door unless I could show them where the door was. And my mentality has always been to try to go out and to get customers. Of course, 30 years ago, there weren't the choices. There are a lot of businesses that are in business today that nobody thought would be in business, and a bunch of us ignored them, and that's why they are in business. Well, isn't that true? So sometimes it's not smart to be direct, is it? Why they are. The issue comes down to is if you don't get them or go get them, somebody else will. And I guess it's just a mindset. If there were a way to go out and sweep people and get them around your arm and bring them in, why I would do that. I like the neighborhood marketing because I have not found another way to attract the business. And I think when I find another way, then I will act as though I never heard of neighborhood marketing and will embrace that other philosophy, whatever it is. But in this whole period, why that continues to be the best way to operate.
Bob, how well do you think you would have done just with LSM and not McDonald's TV?
If I had the full answer to that, I'd be writing books like Tom does, I think. But when we first started, we had quite a fuss over how we were going to organize 7 McDonald's operators to be on television. And the main thrust was marketing your restaurant yourself. I took over an existing operation that had been in the family, and I think basically through local store marketing, as I compare our sales to the other 7 operators that were in the Denver metro area, we increased our business over 30% 3 years in a row. And I'd have to say it was almost all local store marketing because we didn't have any television that we could get together on. Could you do that today? I don't know whether that's apples and apples because there's so much more competition. But if you figure that local store marketing is still how well you operate your restaurant and how well your servers and your service people, from the maintenance man all the way to the back of the house, operate your restaurant, that still is your part of your marketing and your neighborhood approach to the business. I can't imagine that you could be very successful without that part of the business. So I don't know how to really answer your question, to be candid. I know this. When we decide to introduce a new product, we can put it on television, and in 30 days it could be a product that could have been with us for 30 years. It just jumps right up and takes over the 10, 12, 15% of our mix. However, some of you are familiar with the sandwich called McLean, and I can't tell how many $1 million we spent pounding that sucker. And we're still pounding it, but I think we're pounding a post into the sea. But you can't sell what people don't want to buy, so whether you got television or whatever, that doesn't make any difference. People want all beef. They would like to have a piece of beef that had no fat, because fat's bad for you. But I'll tell you what, fat sells.
Thin is in, but fat's where it's at.
If you don't think so, we introduced a double Big Mac, and for the first 30 days it outsold the regular Big Mac, which is our flagship sandwich.
That's 4 patties, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. What does that tell you? And the people that are in the red meat business say, I'm worried about going out of business. I'm not sure it's because it's red meat. We introduced a double quarter pounder, and our double quarter pounder in our restaurants outsells a single quarter pound patty. That's a half a pound of beef. Now, not everybody drives a truck and digs a ditch, and they still have big appetites, so their beef sells. You know.
Bob, I read that McDonald's spent last year 6.1% of sales nationally. Is that an accurate number? That's about $1 billion.
Yeah.
Chump change.
I think that most of us spend at the local store level, though, under 2%. Our total advertising budget would be in the neighborhood of 5%. But we have a national advertising program, we have a cooperative program, then we have a local store program. So when you layer those...
How much goes into headquarters?
Our national advertising program is 2%.
It's 2%. It was 1% for years. So 2% goes in, and then 2% in the local co-op.
Yes, between 2 and 3.
Between 2 and 3, and then
Another 1 or 2 for you to be local.
for the local.
Those budgets vary by the size of market, but also by cost of media. Some of the larger markets don't have the media costs. Some of the smaller markets have incredibly high media costs.
Right. Should promo cost go against the marketing budget? Should it not? And about what percent of your total marketing is promo in terms of a discount or comps or how you would trigger that? That's been a question that is up just considerably.
We run between 1 and 2%, but it'll vary from month to month. Right now, with our national advertising being more toward the value meal concept, there's less on the promotional line. But we take the actual cost, as was mentioned, the food cost itself, and would put that against the promo line.
Bob, let me ask you this. For years, McDonald's Big Macs sold for what?
Well, it started out at what I think was,
Well, I mean, what was the highest it ever sold at?
I think $1.95, $1.99.
And now it's 99 cents.
No, it was a promotional price for 30
Promotional
days at
price.
95 cents, yeah.
But you have a lot of your stuff, your burgers that are out there regularly 99 cents now.
We did that for the first quarter, yes.
Yeah.
And then we're evaluating that to see whether or not that's something we would continue.
Did it drive traffic?
Bet your butt it did.
Let me read a question from upstairs. This is for Bob Charles. What are the top 3 things you do in your local community in order to get involved and give something back on a continual basis? For example, which organizations, efforts do you and yourself in order to grow through awareness? Yes, the Ronald McDonald House is one, huh?
Well, clearly, that's our major philanthropy. I think the bulk of my time is spent with the schools. That's a personal thing with me. That's just my investment in what I'm concerned about. My attitude is that we either help them get an education now or we keep them on the dole for the rest of their lives, so let's try to get them educated and we won't have to take care of them. But so we do a lot with schools and a lot with at-risk programs, keeping youngsters in school, crew incentives or school incentives and recognitions, reading programs, attendance programs, and that type of thing.
Here's another quick question for you from Sonic Industries, 1,400 restaurants. How would you tell a new manager how important neighborhood marketing is?
Well, if you get back to the comment that was made here earlier, as well as mine, I think if you measure things, you can manage them. And if you can compare or show people on a P&L what those numbers will do for you if you get behind them, it shouldn't be a hard sell. If it's a terribly hard sell, you may have a person that should be a receptionist in a mortuary.
How can you say that so stone-faced?
Because that's how I feel.